Hey, Pat.
Hey.
Can you repeat after me?
Yes.
I, Patrick Harlan Holmes,
I, Patrick Harlan Holmes,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to never talk into the top of a side address microphone for as long as I live.
Would you like me to formally apologize for not studying audio engineering? Prick.
Okay, so basically, the past 2 weeks, your audio sounded a little off, and I wasn't sure why. You swore that your setup was the same, which it was. I was like really on your ass the past couple weeks about.
I'm filing, quite frankly, a class action suit from all your employees because there's a systematic atmosphere of mockery and bullshit, quite frankly. Tom hires these people to do these shows, and then when they don't know what like advanced audio engineering techniques are, he mocks them relentlessly, which is super fair and super chill, which is the vibe. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
I would just like to say, F you.
Okay. So yeah, your audio was weird. We couldn't figure out why. And then it kind of hit me like, are you talking into the right side of the mic? I thought maybe it was backwards. And then I thought like, oh, is he talking into the top of the microphone? And when I asked you, you said you tilted the mic to get it closer to you, which is what I've been asking. And, yeah, it gave it this weird sound. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, that's what is wrong with Newton's audio as well. That's what's been wrong with it this whole time. So I asked him, sure enough, he's been talking into the top of his microphone. And I just want to apologize because I should have like thought to like tell you guys. I've been doing this a long time, so
instead
I guess
of weekly just saying something's off, man, like expecting us to know how to fix it or what is wrong. Like, hey, you try listening to it. Like the untrained ear, like sounds like my voice has been recorded, Tom. I'm literally, what the f*** are you expecting from me in this scenario?
So I apologize. That was information I left out. I guess I just assumed people know, but obviously you know what happens when you assume, Pat?
What happens when you assume?
It makes you look like a fucking asshole.
Ooh, a pretty profane start.
It's a modern
to
twist.
The new year.
My God, yeah. This is the first episode of the new year. So I wanted to kind of make a joke, but also apologize for not being a good friend and producer and,
yes,
all that
not
stuff.
Not funny, just hurtful. Let's just be perfectly clear. Cutting deep.
But I also want to thank you because it helped me figure out what's been going on with Newton's audio this whole time.
Yes, after a year of weekly telling me nothing has up to your standards, it has finally helped Newton.
Well, there were like 4 episodes where I was like, Pat, it's perfect. And then all of a sudden it changed. And it was because I kept telling you to get closer. So.
I miss those days.
Right.
And I keep telling myself we can get back to where we were, but time just dredges on and I feel myself getting older and my ambition seems to wane day by day. And I just can't see myself leaving you at this point. And I go over how long, start counting down the years until I die. And, would it even be socially acceptable to start over at this point?
So we have a long a full episode. There's a couple things I want to get out of the way. At Astra, the space policy and technology podcast on the Elemental FM network, has just put out their first shirt design. I kind of helped design it a little bit. We had a contest. This guy Antonio made this really awesome spaceman holding a balloon that had the reflections of the stars in it. So I made a couple stars. I made the word Ad Astra words, I guess, as like a constellation. And it makes for a super cool shirt. They're on sale until Sunday, January 14th. 30% off, only $14. You should grab one because they're super dope. I can't wait to get one. We've sold a handful already, and I'm stoked. Also, Newton and Zoe from the Straight Up podcast on the Elemental Network, they recorded a a top 5 episode. I think they're calling it the Elemental Annual episode, kind of recapping 2017, their top 5 TV shows, movies, books, what they're looking forward to the next year. And they recorded a 55-minute Star Wars The Last Jedi review episode, in addition to the hour and a half episode they did on Ad Astra about Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars fan, might want to check both of those out. Yeah, that's all I got. Link to all those in the show notes, elemental.fm/reminiscence/58.
I like the shirts, man. The shirts are very nice, very crisp.
You like it?
I do. I just might get one.
That would be super cool. You also have another shirt on the way.
Yeah, I forget what it was for, but you hooked us up with some kind of show promotion thing.
No, well, the company who is going to be doing the printing and the fulfillment of the Ad Astra shirts, it is like a designer storefront. So they wanted to send me 2 shirts to like convince me to use their like service, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
so
mine was the one the character Jules wears in Pulp Fiction, or John Travolta's character. The UC Santa Barbara banana slug shirt. My Aunt Colleen attended that school as well, so.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that will be on the way.
Looking forward to wearing it, quite frankly.
As soon as I get it. Cool beans. Do you want to hop right into the New Year's episode?
Yeah. New Year's resolution number 1. Drop more steaming hot takes. That list is now over. It's done.
So last year, this time last year, I think it was our 7th episode, we made a list of New Year's goals or resolutions. We followed up halfway through the year, and we're here to discuss those, our successes, quote unquote failures. I don't know if you want to call it that.
I think you have to put it in quotes.
I mean,
they will be considered actual, just legitimate failures on there. No hypotheticals.
And then we're going to talk about our resolutions and goals for 2018, and we have a lot. So, do you want to get started? Do you want to go back and forth, take turns on what we accomplished from last year?
Yeah. We both you moved in 2016, right, to Colorado?
Yeah, like November of 2016.
Okay. I thought last year we both moved to new cities and got jobs in those cities, but I was off by a couple months.
Right.
But that's what we were working with in terms of where we were in our lives.
Yeah, that was kind of a theme.
Right? Yeah. Just a quick something to knock out real quick. One of mine was to write a letter each month, and I wrote like a ton of letters to Jesse because we were doing distance. So I covered that. I smashed that. I think I averaged probably like 6 letters a month.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. I just bought a giant book of stamps and then used them. One of them was getting the band back together, figuratively, I guess, or literally. And you, Zach, and I just had a lovely weekend in Cincinnati together. It was a splendid visit.
Yeah.
I'm going to count that.
Sure.
One of mine was floss more. And I flossed so much that I pushed some food particles up into my gums, and I needed to get a prescription wash because my gums started to bleed. So this year it'll be to floss correctly instead of just more.
God.
Last year I said a new food each month, but I'm not. That one was kind of dumb because it's just hard to come up with stuff. But I'm definitely open to trying new things. So that wasn't really a challenge. It was just, I don't know, kind of a burden. Like, I don't know. So that one was a dumb one. I'm going to say I accomplished it, I guess. I don't know. Like pho and pad thai and I don't know. Every time I encounter something I like, I'm willing to try it and I add it to my rotation of stuff I occasionally indulge in. I don't know. It was a stupid one, so sorry, everybody. And you and I had one that was like, we were going to have a fire on the beach because it was from one of those lists online of like the most
right, yeah.
basic. But we were going to do that at your dad's place in 2026 is the eclipse.
27.
27.
I don't know. Well, first of all, I don't want to wait 10 years for that. But also, it's super cloudy in that region in April, and I am not going to miss a 4 2.5 minute eclipse. I kind of want to go see that either in Mexico or somewhere through the Midwest as it comes up.
Okay.
That's just me. We are more than able to have a fire on the beach at my dad's house anytime between now and then, though.
Okay. That was kind of like the new food each month. It was from that list from like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Of just to do if you aren't creative enough to set your own goals. And so that one too, I guess. Well, not I guess. I know. I would like to that one. Stuff that wasn't resolution based. Jesse and I live together now. I'm employed in Cincinnati as opposed to Cleveland, where I was a year ago. And this doesn't really count, but I upped my contribution to my retirement fund like a smudge recently, so good stuff there. Eventually,
Alrighty.
I will see that money. Hopefully, God willing.
Maybe.
That's right. But yeah.
Awesome.
I will hand that
cool.
off to you, my good man. So there's definitely plenty I didn't, but it wasn't a total wash.
All right, cool. I had my first one was Bike More, which I mean, I rode probably a dozen times. Most of them were longer rides, like 15 plus miles. I don't really, whatever. I wanted it for the exercise, but since I joined the boxing gym, I'll take that as exercise rather than biking, and I actually enjoy it currently. So it was a failure, but I replaced it with something that takes its place, I guess. I don't know.
Count it.
Sure. I wanted to make $50,000. I just checked my last pay stub from Solar City, which only covers 11 months, and it was like just under $40,000, which is sad considering I was working 60 hours a week for a couple months. I had a little bit of side work here and there. It was probably a little closer than I was imagining, especially since I didn't fucking have a job when we recorded that episode. So I'll take that. I'll take it for sure. Yeah. I wanted to find a decent job. I'm working for Tesla. Sure. I wanted to have 5 shows on the network, 3 of them making money. We have 3 shows and everyone is costing me money. Huge failure, but I love it. I wanted 200 listeners for this show. Could not be any farther from that.
We could definitely be farther from that.
We could. We have we'll get there. I wanted to make more music. I'm currently recording a...
Well, quick step back. I mean, we've tripled our audience, I think, probably pretty easily. I mean, like, we are closer to that goal than we are farther, anymore, right?
Yeah. You're right. I wanted to find a mentor. I reached out to my personal hero, Mike Hurley, from the founder of the Relay FM network, and I did everything short of beg, and it was a very kind no thank you. So I'm gonna have to figure something out for next year. I'll have to move that into 2018.
I think that's a discussion that I'd like to get into maybe on a different day, but it's kind of an intimidating question to ask another grown person. But it's almost like you have to do a good job of selling exactly what you mean by that, Right.
Which I'm not entirely sure I did. We can definitely talk about that later for sure. I wanted to make music. I recorded half of 3 songs. But I'm currently working on a cover of Fearless by Taylor Swift that I'm going to be recording with one of my friends from Florida and another one, hopefully one of my buddies from Canada. We're going to record a really sick cover, and I'm going to finish that one. So I made as much music as I wanted to. So I'll take that as a success. I wanted to invest, and for the past... Since the beginning of August, I've been putting 7% of my paychecks into Tesla stock, and at the end of a 6-month period, all of that money will be invested with a 15% discount at the rate, whichever was lower, either the beginning or the ending of the cycle. So if the stock is lower in August than it is in March, I'll get it at that price with a 15% reduction. So it's a pretty good deal. It's I'm stoked about that. I'll have like 3 shares of Tesla stock. I
Sounds
think.
like some god dang investing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I wanted to test drive a Tesla, which I did, and it was so amazing I cried afterwards. And then Megan test drove a Model X a couple months ago. I was very unhappy with the guy who took her out for the test drive. I thought about writing an article about it. I don't know. He was just like, okay, here's a Tesla. Drive for 10 minutes and then we're done. And then he ended up talking about the interior of Mercedes the whole time. It was like, dude, this is the most amazing car ever fucking made. And you haven't mentioned one feature. You haven't mentioned like one reason why this car is $110,000. You know, he just like, I don't know. I feel like the guy I went out with told me literally everything. And that's what I was there for. And I think if you're trying to sell a car, you know, you should tell them what makes that car special. And he didn't. And I was really let down. She drove on the highway for like 3 minutes and then it was all back roads. She didn't even get to do the autopilot. She hardly got above 20 miles an hour. It was like, what the is this, man? I was really upset.
MFing bullpucky, dude.
Yeah, man. But, you know, you move on.
Pure, unadulterated MFing bullpucky.
I wanted to...
I mean that. I mean it, Tom.
It was. My last one here, I wanted to blog more. And I wrote a couple blogs last year, I think like maybe 6 or 7. But what I did was I added the editorial section to the website, and we've been pushing out a bunch of articles. I've written a few, and like several thousand views combined with them. So it wasn't blogging, it was still writing for the website, and it turned out to be a much bigger success than the blogging ever was. So I'm very, very happy with that, and I'm going to continue doing that. Hopefully double down on it in the new year. So there we go.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
So not a total wash for you either, it doesn't sound like.
No, I mean, I would have liked to have hit $50,000. I'm not sure what my like UPS that month of working at UPS was, but I think those combined it'll just put me over 40, which you know, whatever.
So here's 2 I did not get to. I didn't get my passport yet, which, you know, sue me. And I didn't make homemade red sauce pasta sauce. Which is, you know, probably the biggest flaw about me to date.
So that one actually inspired me, and I've made homemade. I prefer white sauces. I've made a white sauce maybe 3 or 4 times throughout the year, and 3 of them were pretty, or 2 of them were pretty good, and so I did it for you. I don't know if you want to do that.
No, man, you gotta the red, man. The red. We've been over this. Because I was listening to the past episodes, and there was some juvenile jokes made about me betting that you did like white sauce, and then you like, I don't know. We were very sick the one episode, and we just kept talking about sauce. So we can move on from the sauce. I might just make the sauce so we don't have to talk about it anymore. It's like
Sure.
We're going to do a halfway point episode, and if we're still talking about sauce next December, then something has gone horribly awry.
Shut it down.
Yeah, shut it down. I'm glad you picked up where I left off and made a sauce. Yeah, you're a real friend, even though you mock my lack of audio engineering knowledge. And yeah, other than that, I did go to a Big Brothers Big Sisters meeting in Cleveland, and they needed a commitment longer than I was able to give them because I was moving at some point. So we can chalk that up to a failure. It was more of a scheduling mishap, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Still an opportunity to toss that onto this year's goals for sure.
Well, you know, my sister started doing that, so she took that for you this year.
Which is, for me, just a flawed understanding of resolutions. Like, think of a lot of good stuff and get other people to do them, which I guess good things are still being done, but it's kind of missing the point. So anyway, sauce and volunteering / charitable efforts yet again put on the list, which even if they were to be fulfilled, it's always a good one to have, I suppose.
So do you have a list, like a full list for this year?
Did I write it down? I don't have that big of a list.
Okay, well let's go through one by one.
I kind of want to let you go first because you have a rather daunting collection of things.
Yeah, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And some of them are like housekeeping for the network, so you could probably blow through them pretty quick.
There are 17 list items here.
Yes. I think I have like 4, but there's also ones that I have that I don't want to talk about yet.
Sure.
Because just there's logistical, I don't know. They're not really resolutions. They're just things. So,
okay.
I don't know. We'll talk about that when that happens, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, I can get like a bunch out of the way. Cause they're easy. I think I have right here, I want to have 2 new shows and 3 shows total monetizing by the end of the year, which I think is what my resolution essentially was last year.
Do you have a plan to make them earn money?
Yeah. Still working on the business.
What's the plan?
What's the plan, Stan? It's just, the normal avenues, nothing, everything, on the record, everything kosher. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
All right. It's like if we're in a board meeting, I would like, if I didn't like really lay into you after that, then I would be a bad board member. But
it's like totally red flagging that.
Yeah. So what is the plan? It's kosher. Oh, splendid. Let us pursue forth then.
Yeah, a lot of things do have to do with the network. So my money goals for next year, I want to make $75,000 by the end of the year, and which is a 50% increase, which I did not make from last year, 50% increase from last year's goal. But I want 35% of that money to be self-made. That's more or less an arbitrary number. I don't know why I picked 35. It just looked good. But I think it's attainable.
I was going to say, I'm looking at the notes. I'm like, there had to have been math to explain why he picked this number.
Nope.
Alrighty. Again, if we're sitting in the boardroom and I'm a CFO, like, this checks out to me, man. This one, 3 of these shows I'm going to make money, and I've opted for 35% of my $75,000 goal to be self-made. Any reason for that? There is not. All right. Any new business, gents?
How I'm gonna make that 35%, I want to have at least 7 editing clients by the end of the year, which is I'll be editing other people's podcasts. I already have 1 starting this month, and I think I should have 3 by the end of February. These will be clients that my friend Jeremy is giving me. He has too many, and then I want to find some of my own so I can make, a larger portion of that money.
That sounds like a projection to me.
Oh yeah. I want to make $1,000 this year in beard balm sales. I recently made some beard balm for myself. The recipe turned out amazing, and I made like 2 years worth of it on accident. So it was already kind of a plan to sell some, but now it's like I have some on hand, and I had. Are
you going to take it to like a farmer's market or something?
I thought about it. I definitely want to do it online, do some farmers markets, but there was that guy at the I don't know if it was 8-bit or 16-bit, the video game bar in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I walked in, and this guy was just like, he saw my Tesla hoodie and my beard, and he wanted to talk to me. He asked what I use in my beard, and I told him I'm making myself. He was like, oh, dude, I'm a web developer and a designer. I have all these domains for, like, beard balm, like, sales. Like, I want to sell it. If you make it, I'll sell it. We can be business partners. And I, like, just met this guy, like, 30 seconds beforehand. And he gave me his card. I might give him a call. Be like, dude, if you sell this stuff, I'll make it. And if I can make $1,000 in beard balm sales, I'd be hyped.
We should do an episode on the call you make to that person, because that's the best shit I've ever heard in my life. I did not even know that happened.
Really?
Yeah. No, I don't recall that.
Okay. Yeah. Like, as soon as I walked in, I elbowed a girl's drink and it spilled and she yelled at me.
Sure.
And then a guy was like, "Oh, Tesla, look at that beard. I got to talk to this guy." So yeah.
Knocking drinks out of chicks' hands. This dude's dope.
So yeah, I think that'd be cool. I wanted to name it like Elemental Beard Balm, and Kyle had this really sick idea where like 2 ounces basically gets you 3 months. So if you're buying, that's like in line with the seasons. And the name of the network is Elemental. So you put people on a subscription service and you make a scent for that season. Like winter would be, like peppermint or spearmint scented. I think that's super cool. I would love to do that if the name was Elemental Beard Balm. I'm working on the labels right now. We'll see. But that's just kind of a small little goal here. And also my last money thing here, just to get it out of the way. My buddy Jimmy does wedding lighting. He's someone I work with at Tesla, and he wanted to make me partner of his lighting company. And I'm going to be doing like administrative and back end stuff and the website. And he's going to go to the weddings and actually put up the lights. And I want to make $50,000 in elevated ambiance sales. That's the name of the company. The weddings he does, they're $30,000 to $40,000 weddings, so he can hang a string of lights and charge them $2,000. And he's
You're
made money
this,
doing
or just use that much in sales for him?
Just in sales, which I would get a commission on.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. So he's already done, probably a dozen weddings. Literally thousands of dollars at a time to hang up lights. It's a really good gig. So we're gonna start taking that more seriously, and we set up all the business, the work emails, and doing the website and stuff like that. So if I can make $50,000 for that company, oh my god, that's probably where most of my independent money will be made from 2018.
That was, in referencing back on the notes, that was the 35 figure as discussed previously?
Yes.
Indeed. Okay, moving on.
Cool. Yeah, so that's all my money stuff. The rest is just kind of like...
a lot of it's money stuff. How do you feel about that?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you feel? Do you think that's...
a bit hoarse today. I have something wrong with my neck, and my sniffles have been acting up a bit. Other than that, I feel okay, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I think we had this conversation last time. Do you think having money as like a part of New Year's resolution is like shallow, or whatever?
I guess that is what it sounded like when I said it. I don't. I just no, because resolutions can be whatever you want them to be. I don't know. I just am curious if you feel like you need to, or just should, or want to, or what are you going to do with the money when you make it, or you just want to prove to yourself that you can. Just for it to be at more than a third of the things you listed, it's got to be on your mind. Is it the loans? Is it what's the motivation?
Yeah, basically I have a student loan in collections right now that I haven't paid on in 8 months. I have another one right now. They want $350 a month. I haven't paid that in 2 months. Probably going to go to collection soon. And I can't pay my federal loans either, which is like $600 a month. Like altogether, they want me paying like $1,500 a month, which I just don't have. I don't make that much money, and my rent is crazy. So if I can make more money, I want to start paying those loans just to like get it over with. And
right.
I need to get better with like a stricter budget. Those are also two items. I need to get back into budgeting every penny I spend, and I want to start paying those loans back. I want to get it over with. It's horrible. And it has caused me a really serious anxiety and depression, because I feel like it's something I can't get out from under of. And I know everyone's like, oh, but you can. People always do it. But like, I literally don't make as much as my bills, essentially. So yeah, it's really money focused, because it's not like I just want more money to have it. I literally need more money just to pay my fucking bills.
So it's the hustle, it's the grind. I can appreciate that. I wasn't asking from a judging place. It was me noticing what a majority of them were.
Oh no, I don't think you're judging, and I wouldn't really apologize for it if you were.
Right. Yeah, I don't think there's anything shallow about it. You have a wide variety of things for sure. But it seems like you are developing into a little bit of a businessman here, Tumnus.
I'm trying.
This page is glowing with entrepreneurial spirit.
So what do you have for this year now that I've just listed a ton?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Is that because like are you just like happy? Are you satisfied?
I guess, yeah. There's some stuff I'd like to, like I wrote Get a Guitar, which is easy to do. It's not super challenging. There was stuff based off of what we listed last year in our resolutions that kind of became habit, which is something I want to continue. I don't know. 2017 was a bit tough, with the distance and all that and moving
Right.
and budgeting and car breakdowns and dental stuff and money, the other end of the money spectrum stuff.
Right.
And yes, it was exhausting, I guess. So, yeah. So, I feel like if Big Brother, Big Sister happens, then I'm good for 2018. Or you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm still kind of hungover from all the energy that went into making 2017 occur. A lot of traveling, a lot of driving, a lot of budgeting, a lot of bus rides, a lot of smelly bus rides. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that I didn't put in, I guess maybe it is a little bit, effort into the episode. It's just, I don't know. There are.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I guess things seem all right, I guess. Other than wanting to be a better person and driving towards that. I mean, start playing the guitar again. Continue to save for a down payment on a house. Not that there's a time that we have set aside to use that, but I want to continue to do it, right? So more aggressive saving, I guess. The passport thing is still on there. The sauce thing is still on there, lest we forget the sauce. Yeah, I don't know. You have a more interesting list. I don't know, which now I'm feeling self-conscious about my small list.
I mean, it's not the size of the list. It's
some might say it's an average size list. I certainly think you could make that argument.
No, I mean, I think
the list bends a bit to the left, but I don't think anybody would really. No, I'm just kidding.
We're not doing resolutions for the episode. We're just doing an episode about the resolution. So if that's what you have, and you're feeling,
can you put in a wah wah wah?
If you're, I mean, yeah, what you accomplished in 2017, even though it wasn't your resolution, like moving to a new city, getting a new job, moving in with your girlfriend, like that is great. And if you're happy and stuff, I could totally see like not feeling like you need a bunch of stuff, but I feel
I don't
like
know,
my life.
I know that we do a show, but part of me wants to be like, it's nobody's business, really. Like, which I know we're actively recording ourselves currently on the program in which we host. But,
Sure.
Part of it is like, I'll talk about stuff when it's time to. But that's obviously half of a joke, but.
No,
I don't know.
I think my list is so long here because I'm so unhappy just with the shape of my life currently.
But you seem like you're getting along in Denver to a certain degree. I mean, you always talk smack, but it seems like you're at least in a better position than you were a few months ago.
I don't know, man. One of my list items now, especially now that I have my killer health insurance, I really want to go back to therapy. I've mentioned a couple times that I really hate the weekends because I get bored. And I thought it was just like I'm happier when I'm busy, but I think it's just that like I'm distracted so the depression doesn't kick in, and on the weekends it does. And it's to the point where like I think I should like seek out some help, if we're going to get heavy here real quick. Like,
sure.
Yeah, man, I'm just not fucking happy. It doesn't sound like it, but I'm pretty fucking miserable,
Right.
I really don't like Denver. The couple kind of friends that I have, like, we don't really like hang out or do anything. And it's like, God, I'm so miserable sitting in this apartment, but the thought of leaving gives me anxiety. I'm like in that place, that fucking depression feedback loop. So,
right.
Yeah.
There's somebody I saw, or an acquaintance, was, their big thing this year was journaling about the things that they can and cannot control, both in the short and long term. And they were really going to focus on, consuming more information and less, alcohol or, whatever. That's not something that super applies to you, but, the stuff you can control and can't control, so if don't like being hungover, don't drink, that's like a short-term simple one that you can't control, obviously, but there's it goes beyond that. And, I'm not going to be able to convey their life philosophy very well over the next 2 minutes, so I'll stop there. But I don't know. Is that is there more of a concerted effort there? I mean, is this something that has flared up recently, or something that has existed over the course of the past 10 years?
It's been there. I think a lot of it, since moving to Denver, is just I don't see people. I don't go really hang out with people. And I mean, a lot of it is because of the money, I have these debt collectors being like, dude, we're taking your mom's house if you don't give us money. Meanwhile, currently I just paid rent. My bank account's negative $400. You know what I mean? And I don't spend that much, and it just makes me fucking angry, dude. I work so hard, and a lot of it's just because of that, and
that's the one thing that you can read as many, I don't know, books or listen to as many podcasts and do as much self work as you can, but it's weird how quickly money can I guess just totally derail your day or week or month or frame of mind altogether. When you don't have it, it's something that starts to consume you pretty quick, I guess, right?
Right. And
I just remember when my car broke down in Cleveland, and I remember it rained really fucking hard on me one day when I was trying to take the bus, and I couldn't really afford to fix my car at the time. And I just luckily I had taken an early bus to work, and I was just sitting in the building outside, kind of around the corner, so none of my coworkers would see me, just kind of air drying,
right.
F this, dude, I don't know. But yeah, I guess that's a bullshit effort on my part to try to relate to something more serious, I guess, now in the present for you. But I guess I'm just trying to relate in the sense that I'm just trying to say, I guess I'm kind of begging you to start talking at some point here, but it's crazy how fast it can just f***ing throttle you. You know what I mean? I don't know. On top of what is already a very heavy emotional weight of, I don't know, global politics, growing up, money's in there, right? I don't know, just a lot going on. Please stop me. Start talking. Please start talking.
So when I went to therapy, I think it was 2 years ago at this point, the lady that I saw, Gretchen, behind her back, I called her Captain Ass Kicker, because I was feeling depressed because I felt like I didn't have control over anything, and I wasn't living my life. It was just kind of happening to me. And what she did, what I loved about her, is that she wasn't just okay, you're feeling depressed. It's okay to feel this way. Just acknowledge this and try to, focus on this. It was she was well, what would make you happy? And I told her, and a lot of them were goal related. This is back before the network, and I was at the wood shop. I was really behind on a bunch of paid projects I was doing for people, and I wanted to start a business. And she would, I would tell her what I wanted, and then we would write down the next possible steps. By next week, what do you want to accomplish? What's the realistic goals, and what are your stretch goals? And then basically I would just do as much of them as I could, and then come back the next week, and she would just let me brag about how much I got done. And basically she just held me accountable to do the things I said I wanted to do. And that totally changed everything, man. And for a year, I was able to do it without needing someone to hold me accountable. But I think I'm back to that point where I need someone to impress, if I'm trying to be really self-aware here. I want to find someone who's more of just like a what's the word in South Park? Accountability buddy. And yeah, so I mean, I think my depression, I know what it's stemming from, and I know how to fix it. I need someone to just help me get there, and that's what I'm going to try to get out of it if I can find the right person.
This is for the mentor?
No, this is for like a therapist.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
In the Denver area?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's something you could do pretty quick, right? Just sign up, get an appointment.
Yeah. And the insurance, I think, covers 100% of it, so that's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
No excuse not to.
So that's something I will assume you will have done by next week.
I don't think so by next week. I think I threw out my insurance card on accident because they sent them and it is nowhere to be found. Might have.
I still think it's something you can accomplish by next week, Tom.
Sure. Okay. Thanks, accountability buddy.
No problem, accountability buddy.
Along with that, I have make friends. I didn't really care to the first year because I had a lot I wanted to do. But now things are kind of just in motion and I'm super lonely. So like, God, this is the saddest I think I've been. Allowed myself to be on this podcast.
Yes, it has gotten raw. And then for some reason in the middle of it all, I told a story about me just getting wet one day. And then you just kind of let that happen for a while. And I feel pretty humiliated by it. And, yes, but that's all right. I will tell another embarrassing story that is pointless and totally tone deaf if it will soothe you and make you feel more comfortable.
Okay. Yeah, the two other weird ones before I get into the one that we're both involved in. I want to not have any energy drinks for a whole year. And
does that mean no coffee?
No, it doesn't mean coffee. I still just drink like 2 cups in the morning or 3 or something.
You were drinking both?
Yeah, and then I'd have like a Monster like on the way to the job site.
Damn. I forgot you worked at a coffee shop and you consume like do you think your body's dependent on it to a certain degree?
I mean, I've gone months at a time without it when I felt like my body was feeling too dependent on it. Because, I mean, yeah, there were times when I would have a 24-ounce Monster on the bike ride to work, literally drinking it on my bike. And then when you're dialing in the espresso machine, it's 10 to 12 shots that you're drinking within the first 10 minutes of getting there. And then you're just drinking coffee literally nonstop for 8 hours. Like, usually, I feel like that'll be enough to, like, kill a child. And that's just how
I just picture a bunch of millennials, like, walking around tapping cups and going like, pew, 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 you know, just like little tapping behaviors. Like, hey, did you grab that? A lot of like kind of jittery young adults. Like, sounds like a fucking nightmare, actually. Like, hey, what do you got? It's the most stressful work environment of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I got that one.
Am I super far off? Or I guess, was it noticeable? I feel like it would be noticeable.
The caffeine?
Yeah, just people just wired as fucking hell.
I mean, I guess so. My left eye had a tendency to twitch. And like,
I'm sorry. I mean, I guess you could say it was noticeable. There were visible twitches going on.
And like, you know, back when I was working there, I was like, it was from the ages of 19 to 23, I think. And, you know, there were nights I only slept for like 3 hours, 2 hours. A couple nights I went in with absolutely no sleep or like a half an hour, you know. I can't do that now.
Yeah, those days are, not that we're old yet, but there's certain things that you just are super okay with living without, I guess, as you inch closer to 30. Which people listening to this and be like, you guys are still young, off. It's like, yeah, well, you too. Whatever.
So 2 quick ones. I'll get through it. I really want to start using the metric system and learn to think off of that rather than the American system because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, but I would argue that you live in America and it's fucking stupid to not use the system in the country. Like, what?
Sorry. My recording stopped randomly.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a long pause. I was like, oh, I didn't mean it. that. I'm curious. Very
No,
curious.
I mean, I definitely do think that, but like,
So like at the story, I don't know.
I mean, I read like a lot of like space articles and stuff, and when they're talking about like anything, I have no reference of like distance and measurements that they're talking about. And like, we're the only country in the world that uses it, right? So like, why?
Right.
I don't know.
Those are all like accurate, but you live in that country, so it would just make your life more difficult. Are you saying the resolution is to get a better grasp of what a centimeter and a meter is?
Yeah, like
in your head, so when you're listening to podcasts and reading, you understand what?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to.
Okay, but so you're not gonna like go to a restaurant and be like, can I have 2 liters of soda, please,
Well,
Mr. Grocery Store
they do
man?
sell it in 2 liters.
Yes, I can get you a 2 liter of soda. You're like, I'm using the metric system. I was like, it was already came in liters, sir. It's like, hey, you f- off, dude. I'm doing something here.
No, I'll still, like talk to people like that, but like I want to be like fluent in it. So when someone says, it's 150 kilometers away, I'll just be like, okay, I understand that.
Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Right. I always wish I was better at the temperatures, to be honest.
Oh, Celsius and stuff.
When I see Celsius, I have absolutely no
Right.
idea, unless it's 0 or 100.
Right. So yeah, those two. I also want. I want to find a way to have Mike Rowe. Get him as a voice actor for something. Now that Megan has these like studio lights for film, I want to do like a 2-minute introduction video about the network and what the goals are and this and that. And I want to have Mike Rowe say, "This is Elemental FM," and that's a goal for this year.
I like that goal.
It's a good one. So
I don't know Mike Rowe that well, but I bet his voice is probably gravelly and soothing.
You know what Mike Rowe sounds like?
Yeah, is his voice gravelly? I mean, he has a gravelly and soothing voice, right?
Kinda, yeah.
I'm just not like, other than knowing he hosted Dirty Jobs, I'm not super familiar with him as a guy.
Sure. I mean, we're not all best friends with him. I get it. It's okay.
It's true. You wrote the theme song to his show.
Well,
I'm not going to sit here and
of it.
pretend like that isn't some badass wizardry of awesomeness.
Thanks, man.
I was thoroughly impressed when that happened. I don't know if I've ever actually said that out loud to you. That was f***ing the balls.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Did you have one more that you didn't mention yet?
Well, I think all of us here at Elemental FM in the family would like to see Ron Carnage get done.
Yeah. So my goals here are to finish a 60,000 word novel. I want to find an investor and a publishing agent, and I want to publish that fucking thing through a publishing house. Like, not, a $3 ebook. I think for the people involved in this book, it is only we should try our best. We should try to write a bestseller, not something that our friends might buy for 99 cents on iBooks or whatever the it's called, Kindle. Yeah, and then when
it's halfway, right? The last copy we got was it was half of the you're saying 60 now, so it was 30. It was at 30,000, right?
Yeah, and if it's 50, if that is the length of the book, if that's what it ends up being, it feels natural, that's fine. I guess it's more just finishing it, making sure that the pacing is
right. Okay.
Good. Yeah.
And where do we leave off? Where do we leave everybody off? They're returning. They had gone off on a quest to learn more about themselves, and then now they're coming back to whoop some patootie.
Yeah, I think in order to fill the book out more, still a lot more needs to happen. There needs to be a couple of detours, I think, before they make it back to Leon, I think. But right now the book is like starting to rise to action, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has it climaxed yet?
There's been a couple good like peaks in there. Clearly it's not at the climax yet. We're only about halfway, but there's been parts in this book where I've been like, oh, like literally it.
I mean, Gene the Nerdy Octopus, he's arrived. He's in Leon, dude.
Yeah, he's just
That's
he's
not
a part
nothing.
of it.
You recently released the stickers for purchase, right?
Yeah, $2 right now on the website. I think the shipping is like $2.50 or something. So you want to buy that with the T-shirt to make the shipping worth it. It's a good add-on item.
Can it be a Gene T-shirt?
What?
Can it be a Octopus T-shirt?
Oh, I thought you meant like a denim T-shirt. Like, what?
Oh, no, yeah. The character's name is Gene. Like
Right.
G-E-N, yeah.
I mean,
could it be a Gene T-shirt? Like, yeah, I guess. I mean, I know most of our fans are Canadian, but that would be a bit of an overkill. Canadian tuxedo thing going.
I think what I need to do is reach out to the designer and have him send me a version without the background, the gradient, so that we can have a T-shirt, because it just looked weird having like a white T-shirt with this like gray square of background. So
Right.
I might reach out to him to try to get a version of it without it, and then we can do something cool with that. I would love to see that for sure. Yeah. So yeah, the book is going to be a huge part of.
What's the title of the book?
The title of the book is Ron Carnage, the Thinker Boy. It is being
I like it.
written and will be co-published by Elemental FM, produced by, brought to you by.
That seems to be the vibe.
Yeah, it's
a product of the network for sure.
Yeah.
Just like any other shows, it seems like.
What I want to, when we get, we're doing like the edits right now. We're going back through and proofreading and, trying to find anything that seems a little off. Eventually, I want to get to a point where we can invite like 5 of our friends in on the Google Doc to all be reading it and picking things out, seeing if like, since they don't know anything about it, if anything doesn't make sense to them. I would love to have like a little focus group on the book for sure. Maybe in the near future.
Who would you want to be? Who's on that team? In your mind?
Anyone. I know that Kyle has definitely lent some really good ideas to us.
Oh yeah, he had the idea about Ron having a what did he say? Ron having a different past that he even wasn't aware of or something.
Essentially, it would be like a Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White situation where he would like totally change character once he finds out who he really is, and then transform from like Ron to Dawn or vice versa.
There have been elements of that lately. It seems like maybe not that exactly, but shades of it for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think I would love to invite him to read if he wanted to, but that's the thing. Like, hey, here we're gonna assign you a 60,000 word book. Read this. Like, you can't. I feel weird even just asking someone if they want to do that because that seems really intense.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, but whoever wanted to, I'm not sure.
Aaron's got a copy. We shipped one over to the original.
Ooh, true.
Patient Zero.
True.
So we'll see.
Patient Zero.
I don't know if he's going to read it, but
I feel like he would love it. If anyone in the world would love it, it's him.
And if not, then we'll shut that down. It's over.
So you have in here, use your passport.
Yeah, I want to go to Montreal after your wedding.
Yeah. After or before? I forget which one now.
Whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
We have to rent a car anyway, so we might as well drive the hour and a half to Montreal from Burlington.
I would love to do that as well. I think that'd be fun.
Better find your own car to do it in.
My last thing here, I want to visit Cincinnati again with Megan because I really want to get her on board with moving there.
Wouldn't that be something if you ended up living in Cincinnati by the end of 2018?
Well, I don't think it's going to happen because we have to sign a year lease. But maybe 2019.
Oh, you're staying in this apartment after all the hullabaloo?
No, we're gonna move.
Oh, okay.
So
because there was some considerable hullabaloo.
Oh yeah, considerable
and tomfoolery.
Ample.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's.
I was gonna say supple amounts, but that's not even. That's just not even the correct word.
that's everything I have. I might turn this into a blog post.
Oh.
Just mainly so that I can come back to it July 1st, so I know where to find it.
Sure.
Yeah. So, what else do we have?
We were gonna do good songs about the new year, but I don't think it'd be that good of a segment because you want to just do it anyway, real quick.
Sure.
That was gonna be my music recommendations, and I don't know if we were gonna put a poll up or what, but I guess I'm curious what your favorite is. But I kind of know what it is before we even get into it. But New Year's Day by Taylor Swift, off of the latest. What are you doing New Year's Eve? By the Orioles. The New Year by Death Cab. This Year by the Mountain Goats. Resolution by Motion City Soundtrack. And New Year's Day by U2. We're going to hopefully have people vote, I guess, but who really cares? It's all subjective anyway. Anyway, I think I just started writing down songs for what we're going to do for the music segment this week. But then now I don't know what to do with this list of things that anybody could have compiled. And there was no real angle to this segment. So, yeah, that's it. Those are just songs about New Year. And if you or hate them, feel free to reach out. If you want us to move on, we're about to anyway. So,
let me just say, I love New Year's Day by Taylor Swift and the New Year by Death Cab. I only know the opening line, but it is a song.
Yeah, which is maybe the only time they say the words New Year in that song.
That's a good one. I like it. It makes me think of high school and good times.
Yes.
Cool beans.
Yes.
So maybe I'll pose this question since we were just talking about the wedding. This will be a special one-time segment I want to call Is This F***ed Up? Are you ready for it?
Is this f***ed up? That's what it would sound like in your thing, right?
Awesome. Something like that. That was amazing. Yeah, so talking about the wedding, I wanted to ask, is this f***ed up? We're getting married in Vermont, June 23rd. And Megan's best friend asked us when our wedding was because she thought it was the 23rd. She was also considering the 23rd. Obviously, this can't happen because they were going to be in each other's weddings. We told her the 23rd, and she said, oh, okay, we'll just do it the week before then.
Hey, yo, that's f***ed up.
So now what we have to fucking do is be in Virginia 6 days before our wedding, attend her wedding, drive to Vermont, and then basically get ready for our wedding.
That's so stupid.
You really do think so?
That is the most stupid. Yes.
And you're not just humoring me.
No. No, but there'd be shit to do in general. Anyway, driving from Vermont to Virginia to Vermont just sounds unpleasant at all, ever.
Well, Megan was also talking about driving from Colorado to Virginia to Vermont. I'm like, how much vacation time do you think I fucking have? In addition to...
Plus, I mean, yeah, sure. That, you know what? I almost want you to, hire a documentary crew to, film a train wreck in slow motion. Hey, you want to do the most stressful thing of our lives? And then add on the most ambitious road trip anyone's ever gone on. I don't know. It just seems like an ill-fated journey to me. And this probably comes from a good place, from friends wanting to be at each other's things. But I'm just shocked that, okay, so you're picking that weekend? Yeah, we'll go. You want the weekend before? Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
I feel like it puts so much time pressure on us.
Yeah.
And not only that, my friend Jimmy brought something up. A week before our wedding, everything is already going to be set. So we're going to go to her best friend's wedding, who has double the budget we do, and we're going to be seeing things we wish we thought of. So we're not going to be happy. Potentially, we could be less than thrilled about ours,
Yeah. Yeah, even if we meditated that whole month before and we're super centered, you would still be like, oh, dude, they got dude, oh, man, that is kind of good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Human nature to compare the two.
I think it's just super fucked up, though, because, I mean, that's so much for us. Now we have to take the whole week off before our wedding, and then we're gonna have the week off essentially after, for our honeymoon. Make it. I mean, dude, make it 2 weeks before ours. Make it 3 weeks.
This is already set. Like she just snapped her fingers, and now this is part of how your life is going to go.
I don't know.
Like this person that isn't you or Megan made a decision that will directly affect your happiness this year.
That will affect our wedding, yeah, for sure. And it was decided upon, but the deposit is not down yet, apparently. But Jesus,
I'm just wondering
Christ,
what world anybody involved in this is living in at all. That seems just so weird. It's just so weird. Like if you and I lived in the same, I don't know. It's just like, hey Tom, when you get married? Cool. So cool. I was waiting to know when to have mine. You know what I mean? Like. And I want to have it as close to your. I can't even think of something like a humorous turn of phrase or anything because that's so weird and outlandish.
It's a little shitty. Little shitty, little selfish.
Yeah. In summation, for this one-off bit we're doing, hey, yo, that's up.
So we can move on now to now you know. I just had to get that off my chest. Yeah, I'm glad you agree because I felt like I was going fucking crazy. Megan was like, "Oh, it's not that bad." Like,
it is going to be that bad. It's going to be really bad. Like there are just certain things that like luck. You're like, "Oh, what luck is bad? This is bad luck. This is happening," and it won't be. It'll be the fact that you put yourself in a position to just fail, man. Like, I don't know. You'd be like, "Oh man, with just our luck that this and this happened." That always happens on road trips. You're gonna be exhausted. I'm worried, but also
well, I think,
I'm only saying all this because I want you to have the best time at your wedding.
I think road trip aside, I'm not even worried about that. If we could teleport from their wedding to Vermont, that's still just so much. Like we need to pack to attend a wedding and to have our own wedding, like Jesus. Do you want to move on to now you know?
Yeah.
Now you know. So when we talked about the microphone stuff, I was trying to explain to you just because I was excited to find out what the issue was. There was like so much low end in your mic, and after I found out that it was like, being talked into the wrong way, I wanted to explain to you how sound travels and how different frequencies travel differently, and that was going to be the Now You Know segment. Maybe next time, because I found out the most interesting thing in the world on season 2 of Bill Nye Saves the World, which is light years better than season 1, if you haven't seen season 2 yet. They were talking about evolution, and God, I forget how it came up, but there was the fact that Bill posed the question, when dolphins sleep, how do they also breathe? Because with dolphins, it's a voluntary action, whereas, when we sleep, we breathe because we breathe oxygen. They also breathe oxygen, but they're underwater. They breathe air. So how do they manage that? How do they sleep and breathe at the same time? And the scientist on the show said, well, they only sleep with half of their brain at a time. And have you ever heard that before?
No.
It blew my fucking mind. Like, when she said that, I was like, what? I yelled at my TV, and she just said it so casually, like, well, everyone knows that. So I did some reading on it, and there's a lot of super interesting things about dolphins. There's that age-old, thing that, well, other than humans, dolphins are the only ones that have sex for pleasure. I haven't, fact-checked that, but they do, in fact, sleep with half their brain at a time. So when they go to sleep, one hemisphere of the brain shuts down, and they close the opposite eye. So, like, if their right brain shuts down, their left eye closes, and then the other side of the brain gets put into, like, low power mode, essentially. And what it does is it monitors the surrounding area for predators. Because, again, if they just went to sleep, they would just so easily, they could get caught by sharks and, bigger whales or whatever eats them. So they're kind of like monitoring for predators, and they're monitoring when they need to breathe. So if they notice that they have to breathe, they can go up to the surface, get some air, and then come back down. And then after 2 hours, they're the other side of the brain goes to sleep and the other one wakes up into that kind of low activity state. The eyes change, right? So the left eye goes to sleep, the right eye closes, and they do that for about like 6 to 8 hours a night, like humans do, I think is what I read. So they sleep about 30% of the day. So if you do the math, and I think that's so fucking fascinating. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Just like, oh, my right brain's just going to sleep. I'm going to close my left eye and keep walking around, just doing my thing.
I wish I had a drink to spit out. I am also quite taken by this fact. I'm a big fan. I love what you're saying. I don't know really how to just purely through audio prove to you that I'm floored by this, but I am. That is absolutely absurd and insane. And I almost still don't believe you, but I love it. I love every bit of this particular factoid.
And I've got more for you.
Ooh, keep it coming, my man.
So this is also important when dolphins have babies, because the babies essentially like they're too fat and not strong enough to swim on their own. So they basically draft their parents. So like the adult dolphin swims, it kind of creates a current, and then the baby dolphin just kind of like rides behind them. Rides that current. So if adult dolphins did fall asleep and stop swimming, their babies would drown because they can't swim themselves. So they're totally dependent on wherever the adult goes. So the adult dolphin has to sleep half brain at a time to keep swimming constantly so that their babies don't sink to the ocean floor and drown. Like they need to constantly be creating a current. And that's just so fucking cool, man. It's so fascinating.
I bet it's hard to get a babysitter.
Hey-o! So that's now you know. I think
It's a good one. I really like that one.
Stumbled across a good one thanks to Bill Nye.
Nature be crazy.
You want to give me a song or a highlight of the week?
Yep. Jesse and I went to Indianapolis for New Year.
Oh, yeah.
Because we didn't have anything else to do. And it was so cold, but it was fun. I had never been to Indianapolis before, and it was just fine. That was the least interesting part of the week I've ever given you.
Is it over? I'm surprised. Okay.
Yeah, it's over. I don't know. What am I supposed to say? We kind of on a whim went to do a thing, and it was fun. And
that's great.
It ended. Yeah, we rang in the new year, and it was frigid in the Midwest.
And they dropped the IndyCar or whatever?
Yeah, they did. I forgot. Yeah, I think we texted a little bit. Yeah, they dropped an IndyCar, just like any other city drops their themed whatever the And it was interesting. It was just interesting more than anything. Kind of one of those things where it's like you add it to the list just so you can immediately cross it off your list. Like,
right.
We've done this now and moving on. But no, it was fun. We just kind of, wanted to get out of the apartment, I guess. And she likes 4th of July and New Year are her two kind of big holidays that she likes to celebrate. So it was fun to get out into the world and get after it. So we had a fun time doing something kind of simple, which was more fun somehow. But yeah.
Cool.
It's a little spur of the moment action. It was fun.
Cool beans. What was it? New Year's Eve or the Saturday before, the eve of New Year's Eve was Megan and my friend Hannah's birthday. And we went to her apartment building. She had like the whole like top floor rented out or whatever, and had a bunch of people over, and it was fun to just kind of socialize, hang out. My friends Andrew and Andrew were there, and they're always fun to talk to. What's so funny, we call him Big Andrew and Little Andrew, and talked to Little Andrew for quite a while about like religion and how we like just over time lost our faith. And that was super fascinating. Our friend Rachel, who Megan is actually with right now, she's the tarot tarot card reader. Megan's kind of like apprenticing with her, and I just found out she actually listens to the show, which is cool. Hi, Rachel. I talked to her for a bit, and this guy Joe, who is a dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons. So maybe Pat, when we start our D&D podcast, he can DM for us.
Yes.
It was yes. It was a good time. I feel like the past few have just been like I socialized and that felt good. But that's what it is.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I don't know. If there's a specific thing that's making you not feel so great and you're working on it, then I don't think you should be downplaying that actively moments after you say it.
Right.
This is a safe place.
I appreciate
that.
You
don't have to apologize to me for enjoying. You know what I mean? I know Matt is going to give a shit on Twitter like, wah, f*** this American bullshit. Canadians, eh? A little more self-assured, are we?
Well,
the way we live in this country. I don't know. Never mind. That was a failed exercise from the start. Sorry, everybody. Apologies to Matt also. He doesn't behave that way. But yes, that sounds like a lovely evening, Tom. And I'm really glad I think earlier in the episode I said seems like you're in a better place than you were in Denver. I feel like you refused to acknowledge it at the time. But I'm going to stand by what I said. I think you are in a better place than what you were in Denver, and living in a new city is a process, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I'm not saying it's there where it should be, but I'm saying it's better than what it was. And if you continue to do stuff like that, you're going to feel like you have your own little second Denver family going. And I don't know. You never know. You never know when you're going to look back and be like, oh, shit, I guess we have like a thing going here. And that's going to feel nice.
Yeah, I'll be thinking about it from Cincinnati.
I suppose so. I would like that, but I don't want to just like fuck your life up if you got like good friends offering you dope business opportunities and like inviting you to rooftop parties and whatnot.
No, it was fine. It'll be great. I'm looking forward to Cincinnati. John. For Song of the Week, do you just want to give your favorite of this list that you wrote out here?
Yeah, I'll say I listened to that Taylor Swift song you recommended. What was it called again?
New Year's Day. Oh, no, sorry. You Are in Love.
Or You're in Love.
Yeah.
You're in Love, was it? It was good. it was good. I don't know. She writes a lot of love songs, and there are some that she's written that are better than that one. There are some that she has written that are worse. I thought it was a fine Taylor Swift tune for those who are so inclined to further explore her discography or her canon or whatever you would say. Yeah, it was good. It was a nice tune.
Yeah, I don't know why it hits me so hard. It just takes me away, man.
You've been on a Taylor tear lately, quite frankly.
Megan got mad at me the other day because I just wanted to listen to Taylor Swift, and I mentioned, I forget what it was, but she's like, God, you're so one-track minded sometimes. Like, you just started listening to Taylor Swift one day, and it hasn't stopped for a month. Like, yeah, it's been intense for sure. I think there's a lot of truth to what she's saying, and I don't blame her for having those feelings. You had Emotions and Math.
Well, hopefully that one-track mind will, I don't know, help you accomplish your goals this year.
Right. I think most of the time it's been a good thing. But I listened to Emotions and Math by Margaret Glaspie. I listened to it sometime last week, and I feel like it's just, I need to get better at listening like closer to when we record, because nothing like super stood out to me, but I also didn't give it too much attention, I guess. I should have listened right before we started recording. I apologize. I
don't care.
I've been bad at this. I'm going to have to give a better review.
I mean, we could just do
week.
a different segment. It doesn't bother me. I'm not hurt by this. You just asked me to have one for you to say, and then you asked me to listen to the ones you say, and I do. And
sometimes.
We can just not do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's our show. We can do something else.
No, I know. I like it, though. I've been bad with it, and I'm sorry. Truly.
No, I'm very open to doing a different segment. I mean, you and I have vastly different tastes in music, and it always ends up just being like, I have wasted minutes of my life doing something that you like, and you know I do not. And here we are being nice to each other. I don't know. We can try something new. I don't expect you to like the shit I like.
Well, how about we get people to tweet at the show and give us their case on why we should take it or leave it.
Ooh, whoa.
_ reminiscent FM.
_ reminiscent of.
So here's the thing. I'm reluctant to drop it because I know that Matt did a really cool thing and put all of the songs on Spotify, and I just think
that
that's
was nice.
That's a really cool thing. And also Amanda Jones said that she discovered Direct Hit through one of our recommendations, and that she really likes them now.
Well, if Amanda likes it, then it stays.
Okay. I'll need to get confirmation that she does, in fact,
Matt, I don't know.
Like it.
No, I don't know, man. Sorry.
I'm getting
but if Amanda
sick of
says
that
it, then
guy, dude.
I'm willing to continue.
He's always telling me when my links are broken, offering helpful advice on how
Helping
the
us
website
out
can be
for
faster.
free.
Fuck you, dude.
What a tool, man.
That was
Amanda, total sweetheart. Yeah, we'll keep it going. Like, really, thanks for the feedback. We'll keep plunging through, coming up with good recs. Matt, again, just to reiterate, go yourself.
That was so aggressive. We don't mean that, Matt.
Yeah, sorry, man. Like, that's what he gets for being the most outspoken fan. Just get absolutely abused for like enjoying the product and being engaged.
Not to compare us to stand-up comedians, but you know what you get when you sit in the front row, right?
I suppose so.
Okay.
Hey guys, I like your shit. Hey, we're gonna drag you forever. Like, we're gonna make you regret this life decision. It's like, and be convinced in our own heads that it's your fault for engaging in the first place. So
No, he's fucking incredible. I love that dude.
A splendid chap from old Canada, eh, bruv? It's a bit mental, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's put this one out.
Wait, don't we have another segment, or is that we need to give songs?
I don't know, dude. You tell me.
God. So
I'm certain we don't.
You're right. Of the New Year songs, though, which one would you recommend?
This Year by the Mountain Goats, because I don't think you've heard that one.
I haven't.
I think you'd like it.
So, I mean, you wrote this list down.
Try not to listen to the quality of the vocals. Try not to listen to the audio recording quality. Just listen to the message of the fucking song and try really hard to enjoy a good singer-songwriter named John Darnold.
I will.
And his group, the Mountain Goats.
I will. Of this list, I like probably New Year's Day by Taylor Swift the most. You've already heard it. You wrote the list, so you know. But that's
my recommendation on that one to our listeners would be to watch her performing that on Jimmy Fallon.
Yes.
And then read the backstory about it, where she changed the lyrics to match a thing his mother used to do, like the week she died. So we already had this conversation. She didn't change it. Those just happened to be the lyrics. Squeeze my hand. Like, squeeze my hand 3 times in the back of the taxi. Crazy. I thought she altered it a bit. Anyway, it's nice. It's a nice thing for Mr. James Fallon on that particular YouTube clip.
For sure. Link in the show notes.
Indeed.
I love saying that. Let's Let's close it off.
Zip it up. Wrap it up.
Show notes at elemental.fm/reminiscent/58.
Yes.
There will be a link in there for this as well, but to buy the Ad Astra shirt, it is elemental.fm/Ad Astra shirt. Couldn't be any easier.
Wait, you're saying it could be easier?
It could not. And
what?
And thanks to Matt, the link is no longer broken. I did my 301 redirect incorrectly there. We appreciate you again. But yeah, you know, we'll tweet at us and Pat might give some sarcastic response back depending on who gets to it first.
It's true. It is a crapshoot in terms of you interacting with us on Twitter.
Sometimes you'll get 2 responses, one from Pat, and then I won't realize that he's sent one, so then I'll send another one, and then it just gets confusing.
It does. It's a schizophrenic sort of type thing. Like, did you drink the orange juice or the apple juice that day? And did your brain delve into a different parent? Anyway. Let's... All
right, man. Well,
let's do it. It's another year of this thing, so...
God.
Plenty to delve into based on the discussion today. Lots on the docket. And one of those will be you getting married this year. So exciting stuff.
Hyped.
All right. I love you, man.
Right.
Happy New Year.
Love you too, dude.
Happy New Year to all of you, which there is surprising, to me, a surprising amount of. I hope you all had pleasant 2017s, even though it was a bit tough too for many who were paying attention to anything at all. And let's be good to each other. That's, pretty easy formula there. Okay. Love you, Tom.
Love you too, man.
Happy New Year. Onward and upward.
Ew. Bye. Oh my God, I need to edit that out. I was because of Death Cab.
Yeah, I know, dude. I was going to say.
Okay. Let me start that whole thing over.
You can edit that out. I'm not going to judge you.